finally ready to talk about my experience with breast implants and ultimately deciding to remove my implants. It's really funny because there's so much apparently shame involved with implantation and explantation, because there's a stigma, I think both ways. There's a stigma of people who choose to undergo plastic surgery. There's just a bunch of stigmas, and this is just like, why are we so silent about all of this? Why do we feel that we cannot speak about these things because of, again, shame and embarrassment and silence, which allows this to continue, which this should stop. How many women are walking around with breast implants in their bodies, and these things are ticking time bombs. When we have an ingrown hair, your body attacks it to get rid of it. When there's a sliver in your hand, your body, it goes against it. Like, your immune system works how it's supposed to work, and if there's a foreign invader in your body is going to attack it. So how come there's this veil of silence around breast implants that there's no scientific evidence that we can find they are safe and effective, when it's literally silicone with a list of toxic ingredients that you are stuffing into your body, and then we can't find a correlation that this is bad for you? Like, no, it's bad for you. It's a toxic plastic bag that's inside your warm body that's just there. So of course your body is going to go after it because your body is doing what it's supposed to do. And if you don't want to see that, if you want to say that you have your implants and you're fine, thank God that you are fine, but really please consider removing them, because your vanity, your external appearance is not worth your health. And we need to start normalizing happy, healthy people, because if we keep glamorizing the artificial, this will never end. We have to take our power back with birthing. We have to take our power back towards loving ourselves, loving our bodies, and not letting other people tell us and dictate what is beautiful and what is not. Because internal love and internal beauty radiates out, and it's not some external plastic that you literally slice open and stuff in like a turkey that makes you beautiful. And if anybody tells you differently, or insults you or mocks you and tells you that you need something artificial put into you to be beautiful, that's just, really? That's where we are? That we're there as society, that you need plastic inserted inside of you. That's just absurd. I think we have to go back to, I decided to undergo plastic surgery to get breast implants inserted into my body. I was 21 years old, so I was really excited because I was finally able to get silicone implants. So I had 450cc ultra high profile smooth mentor implants. I remember the plastic surgeon at the time, he told me that you should go bigger because you always regret going smaller, and he would give his daughter the same advice. So I just wonder, why would you be giving your daughter the advice of getting bigger implants? First of all, let's just ponder that for a second. But then let's also I have 450 cc's, those are huge. I wish I had them here to show you. I had to leave them in the Netherlands, so it's a different story, but I have a picture of them. So I was 21. I grew up in a time where we were exposed to a lot of images of the Playboy ideal of how a woman should look. I think there's a huge industry behind all of that to make women feel unhappy with themselves and insecure about their bodies. And then because when women are insecure about their bodies and lack self-love, you can be sold things because you look externally for things that you think will make you happy instead of coming internally. You're mentally, it's a mind fuck. I think the first component of it is the toxins, and your body's trying to eliminate it. So we have the physical aspect of it, but then you also have the emotional aspect of it, where you did this procedure so drastic and you think that that'll bring you happiness and love, and then if you find happiness and love, you explain it that it's because of your breasts. So then you feel like a fraud because you think and you explain to yourself that the only reason people love you or like you is because of your breasts, and then you feel like they're fake, so then your whole identity feels fake, and then your personality, and then you just feel like an even bigger lack of love than you did from the beginning. So it's just a complete spiral of unhealthiness and unhappiness. But it was just like this internal battle with reality and authenticity and artificial and plastic, and it's just kind of like the bigger battle that we're all kind of currently going through with the plastic and natural. So it's actually really funny now that I'm reflecting upon this journey, because inevitably I decided to explant, which when you do explant, make sure you remove all of the scar tissue. And I did that in 2019 after 5 years of having my breast implants in. And for me, that was the catalyst for an entire transformation, because I think having the breast implants and living that life, and I had my hair completely bleached blonde and just trying to fit into the inauthentic character that I believed that I needed to play. And going through the process of explanting, it was a metamorphosis. I took control back to be my real self. Went through the surgery in 2019 in Amsterdam. So at the original GP that I saw, he was telling me that I needed to take out the silicone and put saline in, because if you remove the implants, your breast will deflate and it will be deformed afterwards. So there's a lot of fear, but I didn't want saline implants put in, because when you research it, it's still a foreign object in your body, and it's still plastic, and it doesn't really, you're still with the same procedure. And breast implants, a lot of people don't know this, they're not permanent. So if you decide to keep them, I think every 15 years you need to replace them and put new ones in. So it's like you're signing up for a lifetime subscription of surgeries and health problems. So it's either you continue with that and think that that's making you beautiful, or you are faced with this decision to remove them, and then they say like everything will deflate. So then you wonder, why did I do this in the first place? I just want them out of my body. And you can feel ashamed and you can feel alone, and it's just like, because you feel stupid for being vain enough to go through the surgery, or feeling not good enough that would make you want to go through that. So after I removed my breast implants, I decided to really take control of my health and detoxify, because I had realized how much damage that I was doing to my body from these breast implants. So they caused me to have extreme facial swelling. I was extremely fatigued. I would sleep for an unhealthy amount, and I would just be stuck in my bed, and I just thought it was because I like to sleep. So I mean, but I'm meaning like 14, 15, 18 hours sleeping. No, I just thought that was normal. I just thought like, because I was living in Sweden at the time and it was winter, so I just thought like the light was affecting me and I was exhausted, or it was just me living abroad in Europe. And so I had all these other factors that I was just getting by. I was in survival mode. I was getting by and I was exhausted and I was sleeping all the time, and I just thought that that was normal. So I felt like awful all the time. And it's just a cascade of slow problems from your body having an invader in it. It's very subtle. It's sneaky and subtle, so you don't really realize it, because it just becomes the benchmark of how you think you're feeling. So it's just like this weight of artificial silicone in you seeping out. It's just like, it's very metaphorical the more I speak about this, because I'm just like, wow, I'm literally like the pressures of society stuffed in you, on your chest, on your heart, like, but it's just there, and like you literally like sliced it open, stuffed it in, had someone else tell you what you need, what size you need to to feel loved or to accept yourself, which is just so ridiculous if I think about this now. But it's like, I guess sometimes you need to go very drastic and extreme, because Like I said, everyone told me not to remove them, but I had the courage to remove them after getting them. And then of course it's always a sob story, like, oh, you chose to get them, like blah blah blah, like no pity, no sympathy. So I think a lot of women, they feel ashamed, they feel like, why do they do this? So you're in this like spiral of shame and unworthiness, which is not in the map of consciousness. It's not a good place to be. I wrote a poem about this, and it's called Plastic Perfection. Sold on a dream of perfection, fixated on beauty, paid for with blood. Too young, too insecure. Flesh sliced open, stuffed. Finally blossomed. Yet, it was still not enough. It is never enough. There is no perfection, not even with plastic. When we start taking back our own joy, our own happiness, our strength, and our femininity, we can all truly change the world. And I hope that many young women and women who are feeling this way or ashamed of how they look or just unhappy with themselves, they learn that love yourself. Don't let other people tell you what you need to be. Be yourself, and that's what's truly important. And if you need to go through a transformative experience where you take back your power, that's part of your story. And why should you be ashamed of that and quiet about that because of an action you decided to do, because society tricked you into thinking that that would make you worthy? And then you finally realize the deception behind it. If you have breast implants and you're debating getting them removed or not, from my experience, please get them removed. It was so healing. I feel completely transformed and healthy and better afterwards, especially after detoxing for a couple of years. I've gotten my life back. I've gotten my body back. There was no deformity. Right now I realize how beautiful our breasts are because they're being used for their natural purpose. I'm feeding my son with them. And it's so beautiful, the bond that we have from breastfeeding. So we have to take back our power as women to realize like we're raising the next generation of men and women, and we can do better than what we were raised with ourselves.